What is up, guys? Team TP with another video, and today we have Red Green Raditz. Now this is a requested deck profile that we had from one of our subscribers, so I'm here to profile it with the introduction of set 8. We definitely had one or two cards that helped us improve this deck, so without further ado, let's get on with it. So Raditz, simple leader. When he swings at a leader, your opponent has to warp one card, and then he has an active main once per turn. You look at the top 5 and you add a Raditz, Nappa, or Vegeta. We don't use all that often, but it is nice to find our one-drop Raditz. Pretty cool there. His awakening is just untap one, which is kind of unfortunate, but you gotta work with what you have. And then once he awakens, when he swings to a leader, your opponent still has to warp a card from hand. And then he has another inactive mate once per turn. You can give one of your red or green Saiyans plus 5k, and it's pretty cool because essentially it's a very control heavy deck, like in terms of controlling the hand. So pretty fun deck. So for our main deck, we have here the one drop Raditz. Now this is absolutely your best card. It's going to do everything for you. It fixes the #1 issue with Raditz, which is hand size. So this provides that. So you draw you draw one card for every 2 non-black cards. So it's really good because you're already warping cards. And then obviously we're gonna run cards that help fasten that process. So we run 4 of him. He also has another ability where you take a life and you KO a 1-drop, but you're never going to do that because you value the other effect too much. So 4 copies of him. Next up, I have 4 copies of Newfound Power Son Gohan. Gohan is really good because it's a card that doesn't give your opponent advantage whatsoever, because if they're taking critical, they're taking critical, and if they're negating, so they're losing another card there. So pretty good when you pair it up with your leader swing, because you can possibly do 2 damage without giving them their extra resources. So running 4 of him. Next up, I'm running 4 of the Brawly 1-drops. Now this is a pretty cool tech because you can look at the top 7 and add itself, or your Checkland, or your Seyard. Those are the couple targets we have. You could side into your 6-drop Brawly that makes you choose 2 cards from your opponent's hand and you discard them. But we normally don't get to that turn, so that's why I don't run it in the main. But it's still a good card to help you search for your Checklands, mostly because those are pretty important. Next up, one of the first cards we got from set 8 is Chichi. Now think of this card like as a pseudo super combo. When you combo with it, as long as you have 2 red green multicolor energies, you can play her for 0k, and then you get plus 5 combo and you draw a card, which is really good because it allows you to defend your life without losing an advantage. Next up, I have 4 Brawly Checkland. Really good as an energy charge, but it also is pretty decent casting it for 2, giving you extra, hand destruction for 2 energy. Pretty good when you're trying to, kill off your opponent and you're trying to, get rid of as many cards from their hand as possible before. Now, a super combo that I forgot to do on the first go on this deck profile. I totally didn't notice it, but yeah, you're going to run Paragus, obviously, green leader. You're going to filter your deck so much with this super combo, so it helps you dig for your SCR. So running 4 copies of that. 4 Vegeta Cruels. It's a really good counterplay, but it's really good in this deck because it warps 1 card from an opponent's hand, which boosts the warping process that you're trying to get with this deck. So really good turn 2 play. It's just overall a really strong card. So you're going to run 4 of him. Now, another card we got in set 8 that helped this deck a lot is our new Raditz. This is a 4-drop Raditz, red green, critical, 20k. He has a ability when you play him. You get to look at your opponent's hand, and then you get to warp 1 card. That's 35 or less power. So really good. It gets warped, and it's not like forcing hit where it comes back at the end of their turn. It gets warped for good. So pretty good. And then obviously it's a Raditz, so you can search it with leader. You can also boost it and give it +5, so it's 25. Pretty cool. And it's also cool if you can pair it up with this card, the Choppa and Barris Arrival from Draft Box. Really good. You just combo this because this is a free multicolor if you control a red if you when you combo with this card, if you have 1 red green in your energy, you're going to be able to combo it for free. So it makes this card just a 1 cost play. Really good because when you swing with this, you can combo another copy of Raditz and then give it double strike with this card and then pop a card, which is really good. So pretty good. Next up, 2 Cheetahs. This is another arrival that we can probably play for free. Well, for 1 red with the Raditz SR. So pretty good. Additional pressure. Next up, our Seyard, SS3 Scramble. Pretty good to just steal games. It has a rival for 5, 3 red, 2 green, and it has an auto where you take a damage, and then your opponent takes 2. So pretty good card because they're not going to see it coming. If they're at 3, that's probably game because they're going to go to 1 with the effect, and then whatever you swung with, you can combo off, and then if they do try to combo, let's say with super combos, they're immediately going to die because it's auto. Whenever your opponent combos with a 2 cost card or less, it's going to die automatically. Effects still trigger, so they still draw off auto, super combos, but they don't get that 0k, 10k boost. Next up, 1 Kai. If you're running Choppa, it's really good because you're going to be able to deceive your opponent. They're more likely to let an attack through when they shouldn't. Like, let's say, like, they had a card that could pop a card if you went all in, but you play Choppa and you swing with leader, and they're like, okay, maybe he doesn't play the Kai, so I'm just going to let it through. And then they let it through, and you shotgun them with this card, and then they're going to lose. So, really good card. So, I still want to play it. Next up, our Shocking Death Ball. Really good. Sparking, main reason why we run it. Until we get something that's a little better, because popping 2 drops right now isn't all that good. But it still has sparking. One of the biggest changes I found with this deck is the Goku Ape. It's really good because you're not doing all that much in terms of like doing offensive plays. You're mostly like just countering your opponent. You're just like Vegeta the Crueling them, or you're like negating, or you're stuff like that. You'll play like a 1-drop here and there. You're mostly just trying to like nickel and dime your opponent. So this is a really good card to being able to pitch off your unawakened side of your leader to search for your 1-drop, and then later in the game, like turn 2 or 3, like you can start playing this from your drop, and then just draw cards. Is just overall really good card. Has been very useful. And then last but not least, we have 3 Remote Serious Bombs. This is a really cool card because it helps you get rid of boards, and it also helps you warp cards so you can draw more off your 1-drop Raditz. So overall, that is the deck list. I do apologize for not noticing not having this super combo, but easy fix. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Like I said, I'll be at Chicago. Not sure completely what I'm gonna play, but I should have a list by Tuesday night. So we'll all see you there, and Team TPA will be signing out.